This is the FA Cup preview show, and after an excellent fourth round, we await another fantastic weekend of dramatic, headline-making action. Just 3 more rounds until the final. The competition is shaping up nicely. Now can the history-making minnows upset English football's status quo once again? Coming up, non-leaguers Crawley look forward to a date with their heroes.
We want to go there and win. It's not about the day out, but it's been an absolute pleasure to be sitting next to them.
Rich in history, but Stoke City have never won the FA Cup. League One Brighton are next.
We have to show them the utmost respect. And then when the game comes round, we give it our best shot.
Leyton Orient face London neighbours Arsenal, believing in the dream.
We are capable of pulling off a shock, and let's be honest, it would be a massive, massive shock.
We'll chart Liverpool's glorious FA Cup story. And in the spotlight, have they got the answers?
I'm rubbish at quiz. I don't like quiz.
Back in November, a Sussex non-league club began their FA Cup journey with, well, less than humble ambitions.
Listen, my owner's objective is for me to win the FA Cup, and they'll be disappointed if we went out to Old Trafford in a replay.
Ever since, Crawley Town haven't stopped making headlines.
The first non-league side for 17 years to reach round 5.
They've blessed this competition with some wonderful moments. And now what started as a pipe dream?
Manchester United. #1 Crawley Town
has become a reality.
If you could choose any team to play in this competition, it'd be Man United away, and that's exactly what we've got. So there's no words can't describe how everyone at the club feels right now. It's fantastic.
Now everyone knows where Crawley is. Large-scale investment has seen them dubbed the Manchester City of the non-league. And this tie will generate income which could transform the club's fortunes for years to come.
We get an infrastructure to work in our community, to work in the programmes and the schools, and develop our kids and make sure that Crawley Town in the future, 2 or 3 good kids for our level will hopefully come as a result of the money's invested back into the club from the game at Old Trafford.
The current Crawley squad can't wait for their trip to the Theatre of Dreams.
The first game I watched in England was there when I came to England. The first year was when Rooney scored that volley against Newcastle. They won 2-0. And I was looking at that place and I was thinking, oh my God, I would love to play here one day. And 7 years after, I got the chance now.
Knowing how many legends have played on that pitch, there'll be nearly 70,000 people there, and you know, it would just be unbelievable occasions.
After we drew Manchester, the next day, I think I was dreaming walking from the tunnel. It's very exciting. I can't believe it. It's going to be amazing.
It's big for the town as well. I mean, we've obviously sold our 9,000 allocated tickets, and you know, they all want to be a part of it. And you know, just for us as players, it's unbelievable. But for the fans to get a chance to, you know, witness legends on a football pitch as the same players as call it, so it'll be an unbelievable occasion for everyone.
And hopefully, I'm going to get Ryan Giggs' share after.
Of course, it's not just the players who are relishing the chance of brushing shoulders with the elite.
The godfather, if you like, is Sir Alex. I get 5 minutes, one-on-one, an hour before the game, an hour afterwards, 10 minutes before the game, whatever. It's just something you take to your grave, innit? I have had the greatest manager one-on-one for 5 minutes talking about my team.
And Steve Evans' team is brimming with attacking intent. 3 Football League clubs have already been brushed aside.
The one thing that Sir Alex will take into consideration, I'm told, is the level of club that we've beaten. We've had to beat the likes of Derby County. And if it was Derby County going to Old Trafford, then I'm sure Sir Alex would have a lot of these big guns out.
United's pedigree is unrivalled. However, since last lifting the trophy in 2004, the record winners have stuttered. In 2005, non-league Exeter secured a goalless draw at Old Trafford. Could Crawley match that achievement?
They're very infrequent. It's an unusual occurrence.
Just to get a shot would be nice.
We know that if we went there and win, it would be a humiliation for Manchester United. We know that.
I think we need to enjoy ourselves and enjoy the day, and hopefully if we play our best game of our life and they play the worst game of their life, anything can happen.
The important thing for Crawley Town, especially if this is the end of our cup run, which has been extremely special, is that we leave Old Trafford with our pride and our dignity.
The ambition is to reach the Football League, but Crawley aren't going to Old Trafford for a nice day out.
The owners will be disappointed if we lose at Old Trafford. But the disappointment will be for like half an hour, 20 minutes after the game, because they want to win every game. Can we win? Yeah, we can win, but it needs to be a very good day for us and a very bad day for the Manchester United.
The fourth round conjured up more heroes and villains. Here's the pick of the action. Notts County were 10 minutes away from upsetting Manchester City, but Neil Bishop's header was cancelled out by City's latest expensive striker, Edin Dzeko. They replay this weekend.
It feels a little bit like defeats. Obviously, we could have won it at the end if we had held on there, but a positive thing, obviously we're going up there. It'll only help the club a little bit and we can see what we can do on the way up there.
Everton and Chelsea will also go again. Louis Saha raised the roof at Goodison. But Salomon Kalou prevented Chelsea's first FA Cup defeat in nearly 3 years. Tottenham travelled to Craven Cottage for another All-Premier League tussle. An awful away day for Spurs. Fulham romping home 4-0. Moussa Dembele with the pick of the goals.
Very satisfied because we haven't beaten Tottenham for a while and they knocked us out of the cup last year, so we owed them $1 million.
Cup history was in the offing at Torquay's Plainmoor ground, with the Devon club aiming for a first fifth-round tie. But it was Crawley who took the plaudits, thanks to Matthew Tubbs. They're the only non-league side left in the cup. A higher authority was consulted by Javier Hernandez, and his Manchester United side came through a tricky tie at Southampton. Richard Chaplow's effort had them wobbling, but a Michael Owen header and some opportunism from Hernandez put United over the line. Sometimes he listens.
Always in FA Cups, no matter what standard you're playing against, it's always really tough.
Well, they've got character. You know, I think that it's good to have that type of never say die attitude about the game of football.
Heroes of round 3, Stevenage had high hopes against Reading. The Championship side took charge early on, Mikel Ledgerwood with his first goal for the club. Darius Charles' brilliant effort increased the optimism another shot could be on the cards. But Shane Long pounced to break Stevenage hearts. But there was much for the League Two side to be proud of.
Oh, the lads have been fantastic. They've had 300 minutes against top 8 sides in League One, the Championship and the Premiership, and they've won 5-4 in aggregate.
League One leaders Brighton emphasised their fine league form by winning at Championship Watford, Ashley Barnes with the goal. At Arsenal, Huddersfield Town were unlucky to fall behind. Nicholas Bentner's strike deflected in. But Sebastian Squillaci's red card gave the Terriers hope. And when Alan Lee rippled the net, the nerves were palpable. Cue more last-minute penalty controversy, Bentner collapsing in the box. Cesc Fabregas, summoned from the bench, put Arsenal through. Just. Burton were outclassed by Burnley, Chris Eagle's brace helping the Clarets to a 3-1 win. Last but not least, Leyton Orient stunned Swansea. Jimmy Smith put the Londoners in front. Cedric van der Gun restored order, only for Alan Tate to turn the ball into his own net late on and send the O's fans delirious. So at Wembley HQ, just the 8 ties to be decided.
Number 7.
Number 1.
As we know, Crawley have their dream date at Old Trafford. In another David versus Goliath tie, Leyton Orient host Arsenal, and Stoke take on League One leaders Brighton. More on these ties later in the show. 2 other Premier League clubs lucky enough to have home ties are West Ham and Birmingham. They will play Burnley and Sheffield Wednesday, respectively.
Number 5.
Number 3.
A cluster of ties still need to be decided. At the time we went to press, Bolton and Wigan had yet to replay to decide who goes to Fulham. 2 more fourth-round ties will be decided this weekend. Everton-Chelsea and Notts County Manchester City replay, with Reading and Aston Villa awaiting the winners. Only a few signs remain of Stoke City's former home, the Victoria Ground, which once played host to the club's greatest legend.
Stanley Matthews is talked about on a daily basis in the Potters, I can assure you.
There are more poignant reminders of yesteryear just a mile up the road at the Potters' current home. But a solitary League Cup win in 1972 has been all Stoke fans have had to cheer.
It's been very difficult. At one time they were down in League One, that's how bad it got. A couple of promotions if you're talking about the last 2 decades, but by and large, a very difficult time.
Are the good times returning? Does Stoke City have a team of contenders?
We need some silverware. It's been a long time since 1972, and it's about time something happened in Stoke-on-Trent.
Under manager Tony Pulis, England's second oldest club are currently enjoying their third season in the Premier League. Now for the next step, their first FA Cup. The supporters and the manager are pushing in the same direction.
They've been absolutely exceptional for us over the 2.5 years we've been in the Premiership. I don't think there's been a better atmosphere anywhere up and down the country to this place when they get going.
There were a lot of supporters, maybe the majority, didn't want him to come back for a second spell, but he was determined. The club had changed, had a new owner, which was a huge factor in him coming back. He's had the money, but he's also had the ability to turn that money into something tangible, and that's what we're experiencing now.
I think he's done miracles, to be honest. He gets on well with the chairman, which is a big thing in this day and age, and I think if they stick at it, then they could go on to do better things.
What could be better than winning the FA Cup? After beating Cardiff and Wolves, Pulis believes his team are better equipped to go further than last season's quarter-final.
I've got 25 players in the squad, and I think the 25 players are good players. Whether I pick the second 11 or the first 11 for a cup game, I'd still expect them to perform and have a go.
It's as good a chance as we've had probably in 3 decades, I would think, of winning the FA Cup, or certainly getting to the final.
The Cup looks wide open this season. A non-league team and at least 3 clubs from League One have made the last 16, including Stoke's next opponents.
Brighton will be a tough game for us. They're top of their league. We've watched them a couple of times. They're a very, very good side. I think the manager's done an exceptional job there. They've got good quality all over the pitch. They can score goals. They're strong enough, and they pass the ball very, very well. They'll bring a big contingent of supporters up, so I think it'll be a cracking game.
The Seagulls are a threat. Their slick passing has won widespread acclaim. For Stoke, recognition has been harder to come by.
The national media are always looking to have a bit of a go at this and that, whether it's the style of play, and until they actually achieve something, they won't get that recognition, because I'm afraid they've been labelled.
We've got some quality players in, and I think we do deserve a little bit more credit for the football we play, as opposed to just the rough and tumble side.
Regardless of how the media label Stoke, Pulis is proud of his managerial record. He's been promoted twice and never relegated. And despite not winning silverware yet, his priorities won't change.
My CV means absolutely nothing. I work from game to game, and the club comes first. And I always put my football club first. And the important thing is that we approach the game in the right manner, that we respect Brighton. And that's massive. We have to show them the utmost respect. And then when the game comes around, we give it our best shot. We have 11 players on the pitch who are giving it 100%.
The way football's set up now, you've got to say Stoke City are unlikely to win the Premier League. Realistically, winning the FA Cup would be the ultimate prize, and something you cherish for generations, because they still talk about winning the League Cup in 1972. We want something else to talk about now.
We've got a lot of job cuts locally. The team are doing quite well now. We need that little bit of push just to lift the area as a whole. And I think the FA Cup would just add to that.
The FA Cup eluded even the great Sir Stan in his time here. Could this be Stoke's year?